All right, all right. We are live right now. Just want to give everybody a chance to get in here. I know I had some issues last time with the sound. Make sure we're all good here. We have a few stories for you today. Make sure we're good. Give me 1 second. Make sure we're all good here. We have a few stories for you today. All right. Make sure we're good. Give me 1 second. Yes, we are good. So we have a few stories for you today. We have a Mesquite shooting update. Doordash driver was shot, and the Mesquite police still have no arrests. It's just crazy. It makes no sense why they're giving no information on this. A bonehead was driving with his nephew in the car, his 5-year-old nephew, and he tried to beat a train, and sadly the 5-year-old was tragically killed. What else do we have for you? North Texas men planned a military-style coup to take over an island in Haiti. There's crazy stuff. And what else? How much do you need to live in DFW? How much money do you need to make to live in DFW? I don't know if you agree with this or if I agree with it. We'll get into the numbers as we get on. Also, an update on the Texas redistricting situation. There is a big update in that, so let's get going here.
Shot right here, right on the mouth, right on the jaw.
Only on Fox 4 News, a delivery driver who survived being shot on the job describes his close call and the agonizing wait for answers from the police investigation. Good evening, I'm Clarice Tinsley. That Doordash driver and his wife are frustrated that police have not made any arrests. Today, he told Fox 4's Peyton Yeager the account he gave to police.
I have no doubt in my mind that Jesus Christ was with him that night. I have no doubt.
Patricia Gonzalez, thankful her husband, Manuel Gonzalez, is out of the hospital and back home. This emotional photo was taken on Wednesday, the day he was released. The 29-year-old father of 3 is the provider of the family. That's exactly what he says he was doing October 26th when he was shot while delivering for Doordash. Multiple wounds in his arm, both legs, stomach, and another bullet clipped his chin.
I was shot right here, right on the mouth, right on the jaw.
Manuel Gonzalez says he was following normal protocol that night. He picked up the food order for a customer and pulled up to a home off Birch Bend in Mesquite. Gonzalez tells Fox 4 2 women were waiting on the sidewalk, and immediately, he says, the women were uncooperative.
Before I hand the food, I had to receive a PIN code.
A PIN code is used to prevent customers from cheating the system, and according to Gonzalez, part of his job security to receive the code before handing over the delivery.
They giving me the wrong PIN twice. And they tried to get the food from my hand, and I was refusing to give them food because if I don't get the PIN, they can delete my account.
On the third try, Gonzalez says the female finally gave the correct PIN number. Gonzalez handed her the food.
As soon as they give me the right one, they went inside screaming, a lot of things. 10 seconds later, everything happened.
Gonzalez says all he remembers was a man coming outside and opening fire.
So they were just upset that, that they had to give the PIN and pay for their food. He was literally dragging himself to escape from the bullets.
Weeks later, still no arrests have been made, and there's been little movement on the case, according to Mesquite police. The department says it is unable to provide any updates to the public. Gonzalez says he was interviewed in the hospital and told investigators the same story he lived to tell today.
We're expecting Mesquite police to do something. Like, it's been a month.
It's so hard for people to believe, there's more to the story. No, it was over something so simple.
In Mesquite, Peyton Yeager, Fox 4 News.
Gosh, I just wonder why the Mesquite police have yet to make an arrest and why they're giving no information on this case. It happened a month ago. and this guy could have lost his life. A family man trying to take care of his family, and that's what a lot of people they jump to conclusion. But I mean, we don't have the details, so people automatically assume. They start to think other things. Is there something involved? Was he somehow involved with these people? And it was a setup, but from what it sounds like, it was just some freeloaders. And I don't know, for whatever reason, they shot this guy. Should have never happened. And I think the Mesquite police need to release some information about this case. Like, I don't know everything, but Eric Strickland says because 99% of law enforcement is corrupt, plain and simple. Thanks for your comment, Mr. Eric Strickland. Yeah, I mean, that just sounds like corruption to me. Why are they covering this up? I mean, why? I don't know if it's a cover up or what, but I don't know if any details will ever be released. And look, it's been a whole month and yeah, nothing. This guy deserves answers on why he nearly lost his life. His wife deserves answers. His children deserve answers on this. But yeah, so I'm going to jump to hold on, some comments here. No, it doesn't sound like there's any footage of what happened. They're just not releasing anything. It's crazy. I mean, they went to these people's houses, and from the last time I reported on this, it sounded like the police went there, and the name of the case. If you're not rich or famous, it don't matter. Let's see. As far as the name of the case, I would just look up Mesquite shooting, Doordash Mesquite shooting, and go from there. And maybe you can find some details on it. Anything, any information. All right, so let me do a search for you. Mesquite Doordash shooting. Yeah, you could just his name is Manuel Gonzalez, and it happened on October 27th, October 26th, 27th. Yeah, just type in his name. Just type. Yes, okay. Yeah. Another person says they just joined. He was working for DoorDash. Thanks for joining. Yeah, his name is let's see. Manuel Gonzalez. Yes, he was working for DoorDash and he did a delivery, and these women did not want to give him the PIN number to exchange, to give them the food. And then they finally gave him the PIN number. He went inside, and some guy, the women went inside and started making some commotion. And then some random guy came out and started shooting. So yeah, crazy situation. Now you can rewatch this whenever it's done. You can go back and play from the beginning. Talks about the whole thing, but just in a nutshell, that's what happened. And there are no answers from the police yet. A whole month has gone by, no answers. No, I did not hear about the dog attack on the Prime delivery. Where did this happen? Keep typing in the comments. I'm going to move on to the next story, but yeah, I want to hear about this dog situation. All right, so we're going to Haltom City here in Tarrant County. All right, let me restart the audio here. Yeah, I want to hear about this this dog situation. Crazy stuff. All right, so let's get this going here. Something stupid is okay. So there was a train that a guy tried to beat a train. He had his nephew in the car, his 5-year-old nephew, and train was coming, and he tried to beat it. Let's check this out. That's very tragic. Now I'm going to read this comment before my 2 cents on this story. A delivery driver for Amazon was found dead after an apparent animal attack Monday in Missouri. Deputies shot the aggressive dogs. Wow, that's scary because I have a friend who's my childhood friend, my longest childhood friend, my best friend is a mailman, and another friend of mine is a UPS driver. So these types of things can happen to anybody. I just, you have to be prepared for these types of things. I don't know what. I believe they give mailmen pepper spray, and my best friend he does carry that with him, a dog spray. But it's crazy being out, being a delivery person because you never know what could happen. You saw with this DoorDash driver, he was shot just doing his job, and then this delivery driver was killed by two dogs. Crazy stuff. Now, as far as this train, the police officer you saw from Fort Worth made a statement on a separate news coverage I saw on a different channel, and he said plain and simple, don't if you see the tracks are down or the rails are down, lights are going, do not try to go and beat the train. Even if it's malfunctioning, do not go through. Just wait. Look, I've turned around because there have been train tracks that are just malfunctioning. They're going up and down. I don't know what's about to come. So I just bust a U-turn and just say, I'll take the loss and I'll take the long way. But this story, I have experienced something like this on the TRE train in Fort Worth. This was many years ago. I was on the train and all of a sudden I hear this crash. And then the train stops. Nobody knows what's going on. And we're just stuck there for, I would say, almost an hour. And we had to get off of the train in the middle of, before we even got to this destination. We had to just jump off of the train and find a way home because some bonehead with his wife and daughter tried to beat the train. And the wife and daughter died and he survived. It infuriates me. This was back in 2009 or so. And every time I see something like this, it reminds me of that because I can't believe that I was on a train that this happened, where the situation like this happened. All right. So now, in case you have not heard about this wild story here, I'm going to play this for you. Two North Texas men. Let's see. Well, let me get this right here. All right, so two North Texas men are suspected of planning a coup in Haiti. These boneheads wanted to go to Haiti and shoot up all the men on this island and take over the place. Check it out. Man. Man. Do you think these two boneheads would have actually pulled this off, or they could have pulled this off? That seems like a pretty extensive planning there. I just want to go through this again in case you're just joining in. Two North Texas men have been indicted for plotting to invade a Haitian island, kill its men, and enslave women and children. They're the two boneheads right here. Argyle is a nice place, and it's crazy to think. Allen, if anybody's familiar with Allen, they had that tragic shooting a couple of years ago at the mall. But I want to go through what the whole process of this. 2024, July 2024 to May 2025, they took Haitian Creole classes to prepare for the coup. January 24th, Weisenberg enrolled at a North Texas Fire Academy in Rockwall. This was allegedly an effort to gain training and useful skills for their plot. January 7, 2025, Thomas enlisted in the U.S. Air Force. The document says he intended to use military training for the planned overthrow of the island. February 28, 2025, Weisenberg failed out of the training. And February 20th, Weisenberg bought tickets to Thailand to at least partially to enroll in a sailing course to prepare for getting on the island, Gonave Island. The indictment says once he got to Thailand, he never enrolled due to cost of the course. So the dummy didn't even have the money to pay for this course to go and take on this island. March 14th, Thomas managed to change his Air Force assignment from a base in Germany to one in Maryland. The indictment says this was both to stay in the U.S. to continue planning the coup and attempt to recruit homeless people from Washington, D.C. So he was going to recruit a bunch of homeless people to go. They were going to recruit homeless people to go with them and take over this island. Crazy. The suspects are accused of attempting to recruit others to help with the coup, both online and in person, on various dates from August 2024 to May 2025. They're also accused of coercing a minor to engage in sex acts on camera on August 31st, 2024. Oh my gosh. So they're pedophiles on top of that. Not only do they have this crazy idea of taking over our island, they're also pedophiles living right here in DFW. I mean, you have plenty of these nut jobs that live in DFW and across the state, but it's just crazy to think that these people are, planning this coup, and you can within driving distance, you can get to where these people live. It's crazy. All right, so now we're going to move on from that to our next story. I have a couple more stories left for you. And let's talk about the cost of living in Dallas-Fort Worth. What it costs to live comfortably here in Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area. See if you agree with this. This is from Fox 4 DFW. You need to make this much to live comfortably in Dallas-Fort Worth in 2025. A new report suggests that a single adult in DFW needs an annual pre-tax income of $107,000 to live a financially comfortable lifestyle. This required salary significantly exceeds the median personal income of DFW residents, which is currently at $51,000. The study used a 50-30-20 budgeting rule, 50% on needs, 30% on wants, and 20% on savings and debt to calculate necessary income. If you felt the pinch lately when paying rent, buying groceries, or filling up your gas tank, you're not alone. Thankfully, gas prices are going down. After years of high inflation, we had 9% at one point back in 2022. That's just a long story itself right there. We know what's going on with that. A new report by Upgraded Points breaks down exactly how much money you need to feel financially secure in major U.S. cities, including here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Like I said before, a single adult household needs an annual pre-tax income of at least $107,000 to live comfortably in DFW. So after tax, that's what, 80 grand or so? DFW ranked 26 for the largest salary required for a single adult. For a household with two adults and no children, the combined required salary is $137,000 Ooh, something going on outside. To put that in perspective, this required salary far exceeds the area's financial reality, where the median personal income in DFW stands at only $51,000. Ooh, some fire trucks outside. I wonder what's going on there outside. But anyway, let's keep going. Sorry for the distractions. I don't know if you can hear that on your end. The salary needed for a single adult to live comfortably in Texas as a whole is $96,000. While lower than DFW, this figure is still notably higher than in such states such as North Dakota, Ohio, Iowa, Arkansas, Indiana, where the single adult salary, comfortable salary, is under $88,000. Nationally, the most expensive cities are dominated by California. No surprise there. The top of the scale cities were San Jose, San Francisco, and San Diego, where a single adult needs approximately $163,000 per year to live comfortably. On the other end of the spectrum, a single adult can live comfortably on less than $87,000 a year in cities like Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Tucson, and none of those appeal to me. We'll get to that in a little bit. What's the average salary for someone to live comfortably in America? Across the United States, a single adult with no children in 2025 needs $106,000 pre-tax to live comfortably. That's slightly lower than in DFW. Costs increased sharply with children. A two-adult household with one child requires $194,000. With two children, the salary rises to $233,000. With three children, necessary income is $278,000. That's insane. You need almost $300,000 now in the United States to live comfortably if you have three children. I mean, that of course that varies across the spectrum, like California, and you go to places like I talked about earlier, Arkansas. It's going to vary state by state, but think that you need almost $300,000 to live comfortably. I didn't think it was that high. I mean, I'm sure people can live off of less, but like that's just the average, somewhere in the middle. But these places, look, North Dakota, extremely cold, not much to do there. Ohio, too cold for me. Iowa, too cold. Arkansas, where's that? Bentonville, Walmart is. I heard that's a nice place to live. Maybe I'll pick Arkansas of these three. Iowa, maybe in some cases, but I just can't deal with the cold weather. Indiana, not a lot going up there, at least in my opinion. Well, maybe I shouldn't say because I haven't been there, but I don't hear too much about Indiana. And then I don't want to live in any of these places in California. And then if you choose one of the cities to where it's more affordable to live in, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Tucson. Cleveland, way too cold. Pittsburgh, too cold. And Tucson, I heard the food is amazing, but a lot of homeless people there. And it's growing too much. And Arizona is a nice place in general. I just got back from Phoenix not too long ago. I was out there for 2 days. Too hot in the summertime. Lots of rattlesnakes, lots of coyotes. That's what a friend of mine told me who lives out there. But if you go a little bit north, maybe it's better, like in Flagstaff and Sedona. Great wine country, by the way, if you're into that. If you're into wine. As you see in my hat, there's an elephant right here with the wine glass. But yeah, what do you think about the cost of living in DFW? Do you think do you think you can live off of less than $107,000 pre-tax? If you're a single adult, if you're making $75,000 pre-tax, I think you can survive. That's just my opinion. Of course, if you're living in a high-rise apartment, you're living in some expensive area, yeah, it's going to be a lot more different. So let me know what you think in the comments. Even after the stream is over, feel free to come back and watch, comment, like, subscribe on any of the stories that we talked about, because I have one more for you, an update on the redistricting here in the state of Texas. Supreme Court issues stay in Texas. Redistricting fight allowing new map for now. It's on the Texas scorecard. The U.S. Supreme Court has temporarily halted a district court order that blocked Texas from using its newly enacted congressional map, granting Attorney General Ken Paxton an administrative stay while the state's appeal proceeds. In a brief order issued by Justice Samuel Alito, the court stayed the 3 justice panels' November 18th injunction pending further order and directed opponents of the map to file a response by November 24th. The stay allows Texas to continue operating under the new map from now, preventing immediate disruption to the 2026 election cycle. Earlier today, Paxton filed an emergency application with the court asking it to intervene after a 2-1 split decision from a district court panel. In a statement, Paxton blasted the ruling as an attempt by radical left-wing activists to derail the Republican agenda and steal the U.S. House for Democrats, adding that Texas had engaged in partisan redistricting solely to secure more Republican seats in Congress. The map, which creates 5 new GOP-leaning districts, was passed during a special session this summer, signed by Governor Greg Abbott. Further action from the Supreme Court is expected after the November 24th response deadline. So we'll see what happens with the new map here in Texas. Hopefully it stays. If you're a Democrat, this is bad news. But California passed something, I believe it was a Prop 50, which could pave the way for California to gain more Democrat congressional seats, which could cancel out the Republican seats, but that is yet to be seen. So Republican states are going, some are, joining this fight. Some have backed off. I believe Kansas backed off of this for now, but we'll see what happens. I think that this is good. This is a fight we knew this was going to be an ongoing battle. Once this map, with all the backlash and hoopla from the Democrats, this map was going to be very controversial. But hey, if gerrymandering redistricting is legal, then it's anybody's game, whether if you agree with it or not. But I'm going to leave this right here. I just want to thank everybody for joining in, all the comments here. Subscribe to the channel. I do these live streams a few times throughout the month, giving updates on Texas news. If you're just joining in, like I said, feel free to go back and start from the beginning. We have some crazy stories. Yeah, Texas. Look, in a state as big as Texas, 30 million people live here, and you're going to have crazy stories that happen every week. Some weeks not as much, a little bit less, but then sometimes you just get a wave of stories that happen, and you can't get to them all. So I try to cover these on live stream so you can see what's going on in our state. But all right, guys, thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Take care.